What is up, everybody? Man-to-Man football here today. We are taking a look at some of the records and the standings, taking a look at some of the worst teams, and just kind of, throwing some thoughts, throwing us some opinions going into Week 9. Season's not over yet, but we're getting close. It's kind of starting to, shake out as far as the records, as far as we're starting to get an idea who's going to be at the top of the draft. The NFC is very well represented right now. So, Justin, man, when you look at this, you look at the top of the board or the bottom of the board, whatever way you want to say it. What are you thinking? What are you looking at?
We're looking at it as the top of the board because the NFC East is repping three top 5 picks in the draft as of right now going into Week 9. That's ridiculous, man.
Quality.
We're what's funny is the NFC East. We're all in the race to make the playoffs and in the race to get 2 or 3 or 4,
Yes,
which is actually hilarious. Because
hurts, man, it hurts.
It's funny because think about it. Looking at the draft list, Philly, who is leading the NFC East with a solid record of 3-4-1. How insane is that? Let's talk about real quickly, Dylan, how garbage the NFC East is and how wrong we were in our beginning preseason projections. Dylan, what do you think? Because here's the target, and watch my hand. We are way out of here with our projections.
Yeah,
because we missed by a mile.
I'm curious to kind of go back and watch that video, and I'll link it up at the top so y'all can check that out if y'all want. It was impossible for us to predict the Cowboys and the Eagles injuries. The Cowboys have been decimated on the offensive line. They've had some defensive injuries. I would have never guessed coming in that the Cowboys would have a historically bad defense. And then, Dak's gone down. I was in favor of Andy Dalton at the beginning. Not behind no offensive line, though. I didn't think that, all of those things would happen. The Philadelphia Eagles have had a bunch of injuries. Offensive line, wide receiver. I mean, they've been playing with undrafted free agents at wide receiver. And they might have found a gem in Fulgham. I think is how you pronounce his name. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's Travis Fulgham.
Travis Fulgham. So yeah, man, it's one of those. I think we both agreed that the Cowboys and the Eagles were the better 2 of the teams in the division. But again, the injuries and just the weirdness of this season in general, impossible to predict for real.
Yeah, back to the draft kind of style. Yeah, you can't really predict how badly the Eagles and the Cowboys how rough this season could have gone. Tyrone Smith out for the season. Lyle Collins done for the season. Yeah. Who's the Eagles receiver? Done for. I think he just came back, or he's working on coming back.
They just got their rookie first-round draft pick back.
Yes, yeah.
Deshaun Jackson's been out.
Yep. So they've been struggling with injuries as well. You can't really predict that. NFC East has just been bad. One thing I continue with this draft want to talk about is Houston. Houston traded away their first-round pick to Miami. Miami right now, because of Houston, has the number 7 pick going into this next year's draft right now. How far? I think Houston's going to start trending up. They had a rough start to the season because they've played some really good teams in the NFL right now. So, how far do you think that pick falls? I think it falls quite a while. I think they end up at like 18, right in the middle of the draft.
It's tough to say. So this is what I'm gonna say on that, right? The NFC East, they're eventually gonna shake loose. They're eventually gonna play each other, and somebody's gonna have to win those games. Okay. And so I think that's what kind of keeps Houston, the Miami Dolphins pick from Houston, in the top 10. Even if they win a couple more games, the Giants or Washington, one of those teams, they're going to win a couple as well. The Chargers may win a couple. Justin Herbert, they keep getting unlucky. They keep having heartbreaking losses. I would think that New England's going to find some wins here or there. Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, they're competitive every week. So I do think that you look at the teams around, you look at the teams that are in the top 10, you can definitely see those guys winning games too. And then Houston hasn't been
bad. They haven't been bad.
They've been trying to win games. They've been competitive all year. I don't know that they just don't have enough on defense, to keep them in games. So I'm not sure. I think it will be a top 10 pick though when it's all said and done.
I don't think what you said about New England. I really don't think New England starts trending towards the more or less bottom of the draft. I think they start trending higher. They've already lost 4 straight. At this point, Bill Belichick's probably like, you know what, we're tanking, and
Okay. Hey, no, I hear you.
we're not going to look like we're tanking, but I'm good at this coaching stuff, and we're tanking. Uh,
Cam Newton fumbled it
yeah,
again.
yeah. He was like, hey Cam, buddy, just fumble the rock real quick right here. He's like, I know we're playing a good game, but just put your name on the line and take the loss for us. And he did it. No,
Oh man. Oh man.
no, I don't. I really think New England is going to start trending up in this draft towards the top
Okay.
5.
Okay.
One interesting thing I like to talk about, well, I'd like to talk about is San Francisco was one of the best and well-rounded teams coming into this part of the season, or coming into week 1. They were like, oh man, this team is going to rock people again, just how they were.
Yeah.
And then they have almost as many, if not more, injuries than the Dallas Cowboys were coming in. And they're coming into week 9 with even worse injuries.
Right.
Um,
Right.
right now they stand at 4-5, and this was like a guaranteed playoff team coming
Yeah.
into the
Potential
season.
Super Bowl again versus the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a team everybody was hyped about. And like you said, I mean they've just been decimated with injuries. But I mean that just goes to show how good the coaching staff is there. Is they're 4-5. You know, they're not 1 in whatever. 2 wins, whatever it is. So it would be really cool if they could get higher in the draft, but their coaching staff's too good. They're gonna keep winning games.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Moving down the draft into the 20 range, Arizona
I
and
I
Miami.
really I really want to talk about the Chargers.
Go for it.
Everybody's super excited for Justin Herbert right now. I would love, well, one, I'd love for him to get some wins, but two, if they could stay kind of around the top 10, again, you talk about putting some serious weapons around Justin Herbert, whether it be a wide receiver or whatever it is, I don't know what it is. Just anything to kind of help that team, help their defense, corners, offensive line. He needs as much stardom around him as he can, because right now he's looking like a star himself. So yeah, where do you think about the Chargers?
Yeah, at this point, don't go back and look at what Dylan says about him,
Yes,
because
no, do it. Yeah,
Dylan's
we'll
like,
talk about that. We'll talk about that.
if I remember correctly, it was Chargers, do not let Hard Knocks feed you these lies or something of that
Yeah,
nature.
don't let Hard Knocks fool you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the great lines. We're putting that on a T-shirt, Dylan. But man, just we were very wrong about him. I didn't expect him to play as well as he has already. He's one of those. I mean, you can't really say he's a gem found in the draft. He
Now
was drafted.
there's a big difference here between Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. So
You're right.
let's make sure that we're clear there. Joe Burrow can mentally play the position he's probably already a top 5 quarterback if you're talking about just the mental side of the game. But Justin Herbert, they've put the offense in his hands as far as being able to throw the ball down the field. And he's been, wildly productive. So excited for that going forward, but I would still believe that Joe Burrow is a much better quarterback. But Justin Herbert has been very productive in his short time as a starter.
Yeah, which was honestly not predicted by most people at all, because who was it? Tyrod was supposed to take over there, and he was supposed to kind of ride the bench. Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see where the Chargers go in the future. But jumping down the charts right now, we've got Arizona and Miami stuck at 20 and 21. Miami has won 4 straight. They are moving in the right direction with a tanking for Tua and all that. By the way, I love Tua because I drafted him in fantasy. Dylan has
Shut
been.
up, dude.
Dylan loves Tua. He's always been talked about it. He said if the Cowboys draft Tua, they're going to the Super Bowl. But I disagree with that. But anyways, Miami's won 4 straight. They're trending in the right direction like they want. Arizona as well. They were one of the worst teams last year as well. They have Kyler Murray now, who is showing out ridiculously. But I love that. I love that these teams were showing that the top of the draft is very worth sometimes. So
Yeah, I'd love it. The Cowboys would invest in a future quarterback and not sign Dak Prescott. Um, so we'll see. We'll see about that. The Cowboys, they're not going anywhere as far as wins. I don't think they're gonna keep riding the pine.
so
So
to speak.
hopefully, whoever it is, I don't know exactly which name, whatever pick they end up with, but hopefully the Cowboys can make the smart move and invest in a young quarterback.
I don't think we will, and I don't think we ever will try to be smart with drafting because Jerry Jones is still holding it down.
Dang.
But we'll see. Dylan, you want anything else to talk about? Because I'm about to wrap it up.
All right, so last thing we're going to talk about, and I'm going to ask you because you're a Cowboys fan. Do the Giants move on from Danny Dimes? Okay, they're probably gonna finish in the top 5. They're gonna have a chance at one of these quarterbacks. Where are you at as far as Danny Dimes goes?
So right now, the Giants are sitting at 4. I think they're probably going to stay around there because they are not very well built. But my honest opinion about Danny Dimes, which I'm okay with because I'm a Cowboy fan. Danny Dimes has moved on already mentally. It's not really what the Giants want. Danny Dimes has moved on. If you watch, I've watched a couple of his games already against the Cowboys, against other teams because I watch a lot of football. Danny Dimes doesn't look like he's there anymore. It looks like his heart is already gone. Like he just knows I'm done here. If you watch a lot of the videos, you watch the highlights, you'll see him throw a pick and he just like and softly looks down, and it's the same look every week. He doesn't look excited to be there like he used to be. It just kind of looks like he's done there. So I think the Giants definitely move on. Uh, with these top 4 picks, I would not be surprised if for some reason Trevor Lawrence does the whole I'm not playing for the Jets, which I don't think he will. But if he does the I'm not playing for the Jets, the Giants are in position to go get that pick. They may have to give the house and the kitchen sink and the foundation and everything to go get it, but he could be the new foundation if he really is what people think he is.
Well, here's a
So,
question for you. And I just thought about this because of what you said. Do the Giants would they be willing to give up Saquon Barkley to move up to number 1?
no, you don't give up a Saquon Barkley talent. Like people talk. I'm all about the good running back life. I'm all about the top 5 running back life. But Saquon is that Quentin Nelson-esque type of talent where he just stands out. So I think unless the Giants are looking to move on into like they're looking to look at a Super Bowl in the next 5 or 6 years, maybe. But I don't think the Giants are at that level. I think they draft a quarterback. You don't give away Saquon because, my God, I think you give the house for Saquon himself. So um, I think Saquon is on a different level than most running backs in the league right now. The guy produces behind nothing,
That's true. That's true.
and that is ridiculously hard to find at a running back
Yeah.
position.
And we've talked about it before, the value of a guy like CMC and Alvin Kamara, and Saquon's right up there as far as being a feature back in the passing game and the run game. So I absolutely see what you're saying. But I also believe that unless you have the right quarterback, really nothing else matters. And so I'm a little torn there. I think that's an interesting idea. Uh, you talk
But
about how much would they have to give up if they wanted to move up to number 1, that
but
type of thing. I think
but
that's a good piece to move. So go ahead.
but you can get a Justin Fields who could be that Justin Herbert style quarterback,
You
and you
could.
don't need a Pat Mahomes to have a shot at the Super Bowl. Because honestly, people are always like, "Hey, I want to win a Super Bowl." Well, honestly, the hardest part about getting to a Super Bowl is getting there, making it through a playoffs, finding quarterbacks and a team in general that can win games first. So if you can win games, you have a shot. That's all what
Okay.
I always kind of thought. Obviously, having a superstar quarterback helps a lot because that quarterback is everything. But I think if you can sit at 3, 4, 5 as a Giant, you look and you just take what you can get, or I think you move on from Danny Dimes, kind of what we originally started with,
Okay.
and try to look for that Justin Herbert out of the draft, and don't give up a lot to go get him. Still keep the best running back in the league. I personally believe. People say he's up there with. You said he was up there with CMC. I think he's leaps and bounds ahead of CMC. The guy is ridiculous. So that's honestly what I think. Giants are looking pretty for the future if they find a quarterback.
Right on. Right on. And Justin Fields, the athlete that he is, with Saquon Barkley in the backfield, would be very, very scary.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think of what's going to happen in the draft? Let us know what you think about what teams are going to trend upward and what teams are going to trend downward. Guys, like, subscribe, comment down below. Again, we appreciate all the love. Videos will be here. I like doing this because people look cool when they do it on YouTube.
Just do the sideways pig.
There you go. This is a cool one. Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, we'll get there. But guys, like, subscribe, comment down below. We appreciate it all.